I'll throw the same question to you, Ashish. Where do you see the India manufacturing story, the export story, with all these, government push by way of PLI, by way of the FTAs, for instance? Where do you see that heading, and how are we achieving the $1 trillion dream?
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody. I would concur with what Mr. Chaudhary just mentioned, and we also sit in the same spot where we have our own manufacturing setup, and we also serve the manufacturing industries, right? And it's a unique position, and the world will watch companies like ours because we need to make sure that we walk the talk. What I mean by that is when we are talking about sustainable solutions, when we are talking about manufacturing with goodness, which kind of makes it green, makes it more environment friendly, are we doing the same thing in our own facilities? I think that's going to be a very, very important point to note. Because it's easy to preach, but then it's difficult to follow the same thing. So as a result of that philosophy, even before the whole set of jargons that we use today in the last 4 or 5 years, Honeywell started looking at this particular aspect of manufacturing and how we need to therefore make it green starting 2004. And it's about 18 years now. We've started looking at how do we monitor our greenhouse emissions, the energy consumptions, etc. And the advantage of that, while doing it globally, as Mr. Chaudhary mentioned, we can adapt to those technologies and leapfrog. We don't have to make the same mistakes and therefore go through the same curve, but actually accelerate. And I see a huge opportunity. I'll give you 2 examples why I say that. If you see the newspapers nowadays, of course, the fuel of the future people are talking about is hydrogen, for example, right?
Yes.
A lot of mobility will go towards hydrogen. Of course, electric is one part, but the hydrogen would be the other part. And the ambition of a country like ours is to become a hydrogen hub for the world, not just for India. And so that's going to take a lot of technology. That's going to take a lot of adoption of that technology to sort of serve the world and bring the price of hydrogen from, let's say, $7, $8 a kg today to about $1 per kg. And that journey is very exciting. And I believe the second aspect is all of what is required, because everybody is getting pushed towards the limits and therefore is forced to innovate. That needs talent. And one of the biggest talent pools that is available will be in India. So the companies like ours, if they invest into a country like India, train the young minds, make sure that they get into the mainstream, and then leverage that brain power, I think that's the other advantage when it comes to the manufacturing of exports, as you're talking about. So just wanted to add to and build on to what Mr. Chaudhary said.